we met on that Sunday, or I guess a little bit before that at a rush event. We had a rush event at, we call it, oh man, what do you call it? Lighthouse. It's on Thatch Road. It's a Pike owned complex. And so we had like two brothers living there, and it was a rush event. Can't really remember too much of the inside, but I remember we had a pledge party at my house that night, and that was the night he got bidded. So he actually got bidded that night into Pike, and then he came to our pledge party, and that's where I really got to meet him. We just hung out as casual friends that year, just getting closer and closer. And then I actually had a roommate leave my house, so I needed a new roommate, and that's where we started getting really close, is when he started living with me my sophomore year. And then I remember the it was our first game day date, like the first home game for Auburn. And whenever you're in a fraternity and it's game day, you have to bring a game day date, or like you have a broom or whatever. Some are brooms, some are mops. I guess it changes per fraternity. But I remember I came into the great room and there was like 10 girls on this couch, and then Christian was sitting in this chair in between all of them. And I was like, "Which one's your date?" He said, "Man, all of them." I was like, "Bro, what? What are you talking about? Are you talking about all of them?" So yeah, that's when I really piqued my interest. Man, I gotta get to know this guy. I was like, dude, he's got 10 game day dates. And it was game one. So the best way I can say it, just that luminescent smile, man. It was bright, it was big, it was loud. I mean, you saw a smile before you ever saw him when he walked in a room. But he just never was negative, you know. No matter what room he was in, he was the brightest person there. They had the most eyes on him. So he was just a really big people's person. He loved hospitality. He loved talking to people. He could meet you for one night and you could just listen to whatever you want to talk about. So every time I had like hometown friends that went to Alabama or other universities, they would come and stay with me. They'd like, bro, dude, Frozen's awesome. He had a nickname called Frozone. I actually knew him as Frozone for almost a year and a half before I ever knew his name was Christian. So it was always just amazing to see that, like, like he just knew everyone. We'd bump into a group. Oh, dude. Oh my God, it's been so long. How do you know these people's own? Bro, I have no idea. I'm like, yeah, you do. I actually talked to him the night before. He couldn't decide if he was going out, but I'm sure he did, because he has a way of convincing himself to have fun when he doesn't want to. So I'm sure he did. And then that when it happened, I was at work. I just got done. I was doing maintenance at a golf course, so it was probably 11:10 a.m. And then my pledge brother, who is our vice president of Pike, sent it into our pledge group chat, the news article that was online, and it felt like a sick joke. I was trying to get his mother's number. I was calling all my pledge brothers, because a few of our pledge brothers knew him in high school. And I knew his brother, and I knew a few of his other friends that knew him for a lot longer. And I just called all of them, hoping to get his mother's number, which I ended up getting his father's number from his brother. And I ended up later that next morning getting his mother's number and getting in contact with her. And then I started setting up all the GoFundMe with her permission. But yeah, I used it to distract myself for the first 3, 4 days, and then once the donations hit, it started becoming more real, and the sadness would come in waves. I guess I don't know, it just didn't feel real. Still doesn't feel too like when I go back to my house in Auburn, doesn't feel like he's not gonna be there, but I know he's not, so just still doesn't feel too right. Well, after going to the funeral, I just hope it's enough to cover it. It was a big service. It was beautiful, and a lot of things went into it. So I just hope it covered all of it. Yeah, I did write it. I did write it in a perspective view that would be coming from our fraternity, is what I tried to do. But no, I did write it. And not, yeah, there wasn't enough words. Well, she called it, a program is what you get at the funeral, the program. My name was on the back along with the fraternity, and that was overwhelming to say the least. To see that my name was back there, and I already knew it was there. She asked me if she could put it there, and I didn't even know what she was asking. And I was like, yeah, yes, absolutely. And when I saw it, it was a lot to take in. And then yeah, I'm just glad that they have something to be thankful for.